I so move that the report be noted. Mr. Chair, I guess it's a privilege for me as Chairman of the Primary Production Select Committee to get an opportunity to speak on this in this course of this debate. The last year has been extremely busy for the Primary Production Select Committee, with some very big piece of legislation passing through its hands. The Foreign Fishing Vessels Charter Bill, very nearly got to the post with the Animal Welfare Bill, and I called the Food Safety Bill, which very important piece of legislation, and one that backs the whole of the New Zealand economy, really, as there's about a significant part of our income comes from our ability to deal with food and our exports of it. Also during the year, we've had significant discussion around the PGP and the Sustainable Farming Fund input that Ministry for Primary Industries have. And of course, the PGP, or the Primary Growth Partnerships, in my view, are a very big part of this government's effort, or the very ambitious plan of this government, to improve our lot as a nation, and certainly to get, if it's possible to hurry up science, the Primary Growth Partnership is certainly a method of attempting to speed the progress of science. It costs the country a significant amount of money, and I'm sure in due course we'll get a significant repayment from that. The agricultural sector, of course, has had a great deal of success in the last couple of years, with new jobs, new revenue and new opportunity being created, and that's in no small way due to the efforts of the Ministry for Primary Industries and the amount of resource they put into this country, a very large budget and a huge staff. The kiwi fruit industry, who are projecting more than 2,000 permanent jobs being created in the next 4 years, 4,000 more seasonal jobs in the next 4 years, and a shift from $1.4 billion worth of income to $2.2 billion worth of income by 2019, are just one example of the way that this sector is diversifying under the current government and the current minister. And I think it's an extraordinary result. And we talk about diversifying our economy, and whilst the milk has dominated both our biosecurity and our country's economy in the last few years, we are certainly diversifying agriculture under the current plans and doing it very well. The wine industry is in a similar space, growing by 7.6%, or projected to grow by 7.6% next year. I want to touch on the forestry industry, which of course is one that comes in for a lot of discussion. We have a significant investment in that industry through the likes of Sion and the work they're doing in science around the growing of trees and doing it quicker and more efficiently. We're also putting a significant investment into the development of better processing facilities in New Zealand, one that's pretty challenged because as log prices move to where they were a few weeks ago, it has much the same impact as it does with whole carcasses. If you look at the sheep meat industry, which very easy to export a whole carcass or a whole log if that's where the money is, and that's what's been happening to some extent in New Zealand in recent times. The real success stories in the last year or two have been around sheep meat and the beef industry, the old industries of New Zealand. Both of them having significant increases in prices, and very fortunate, or fortuitous for the country it is too, when you look at the environmental challenge we have around the country, and the fact that we need to keep our agricultural sector as diversified as we can, because the more diversified we keep it, the better we are able to at least be compatible with our environment and make it work for us. So I think that's pretty important. I want to touch very quickly on the horse industry and the Minister's recent inquiry announcement, where by my estimate, and it's certainly only my estimate, and I had a little bit to do with the horse industry in earlier days, liable to produce a significant increase in income to New Zealand as a result of this inquiry. And I think that's what I guess government is all about, and certainly what the ministry will be looking at as a result of this inquiry. The dairy industry, as I said earlier, has struggled a little at the moment, and that's the way the world markets are. I think that we'll be looking at some significant pickup there in due course, but that's just the way I guess we've always been in agriculture, and it's one of the challenges we face as farmers. I want to touch on the biosecurity, because we've seen with the reaction to the fruit fly in Auckland, I think a classic example of a biosecurity system that's working extremely well. We've seen I guess the industry partnerships also assisting that whole system to work extremely well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.